Page 163, The Wonderful Cross. 4/4 time, the key is C major, no sharps or flats unless there's accidentals. And for the most part, the rhythm isn't too bad. It's half notes and quarter notes. There's a little bit of dotted rhythm on the next page, but we'll get there. So, right hand, pretty straightforward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Isn't that wonderful? Not a lot to point out there. Second line in the you're here for the third measure over, you're here. You got to cross over to get the B. I recommend you just stay there and do 3/4 at that point. And then you can lift up to the end of a phrase and then thumb. Their fingering is fine too, but I don't like crossing over if I don't have to, and I don't have to there. I just cross over once. And then lift up, and that's fine. You may get that in some other places too. On page 164 in the dotted rhythm, first take out the tie and play all the notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, like so. And then you can put the tie in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Third finger. Now in the first measured second line, you don't want to use thumb all the time. You can alternate between 1 and 2. It doesn't matter how the alternating goes. It's up to you, but you can alternate so you're not using the same finger on repeated notes if you don't want to. Or you can use the same finger. It's a slow piece, you can get away with it. But it's good practice to use alternate fingers when you can. That prepares you for the faster pieces when you need to. That's pretty much it for this thing. It's pretty straightforward. The left hand, keep it soft and out of the way. All the melody is in the right hand. It's got a little different rhythm sometimes. And watch the fingering, like in the second measure, it's third finger, not second on the F. And then for the next measure, they're saying thumb. I disagree. I would do second finger on the G, and then a 5/1. I can play it all legato. So I would change the third measure over when they're saying 1 on the G and change that to a 2. And then a 5/1. And anywhere else you get that. Second line, first measure, I would do a 2 for the quarter note G, so I can do a thumb on that one. And then a 2 for the G. Thumb on the G, and then reach down third finger like they're saying. Doing is playing all of this legato with the fingers, and so that's why I'm recommending that. And anywhere else in this piece you get the same pattern. Last line on page 163. Follow their fingering, it works. Just connect all the notes together in the left hand. Top of page 164, straightforward, and their fingering is fine. Second line, 2/1. Then a 3/1. It's okay. What you can do instead is you can do a 3/1 and then a 4/2 for the next one, and then a thumb. And then it's a little easier to connect everything. Now if you do that, then I recommend for the last note of the first line, you second finger on the G. So you're in position to go there. So the last measure of the first line on page 164 is here. Second finger there, and then 3/1, and then 4/2, and then thumb. Same thing, 2 lines later you get the same thing. And then 165 is similar to what we've already had, no big deal. It's pretty straightforward, I like this. And we put the hands together. Now you may think, oh, piece of cake. Well, maybe not, because the different fingers are doing on the hands at different times, and and you have this nice little counter melody, this harmony going on in the left hand. That sounds wonderful. Well, let's just look at it at the beginning. You bring out the right hand, this melody. See, but we have this top note in the left hand that goes along with it. It's a nice harmony, and we want it all legato with the fingers if we can do it. at the end of the second line, we're at the end of a phrase. Lift up in the right hand before you go on. A little silence there, but not the left hand, just the right, so it's here. So connect the left hand, but not the right. Different things going on in that last line between the fingers, so watch out. And then the last measure, then lift up in the right, because it's the end of a phrase, but leave the left hand down when you play the G, because it's, and then you're going into the chorus. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Last measure, the second line, you're here. Lift up in the right hand. Do it again. We can add a little pedal of this, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we need to figure this legato. So the pedaling for the most part is keep it simple, about every 2 beats or so, but if you can lift it up and get away with it, I strongly recommend it. So at the beginning it's legato pedal. I mean, you could almost get away with not pedaling the last beat. Get away with only pedaling the half notes, not pedaling the quarter notes at all. That's what I just did right there. Second line, if I do that again, it's this. Now that first measure, you got to pedal the whole thing, because on a repeated note, the only way to connect it is with the pedal, so we need pedal there. But after that, I don't need it on the quarter notes. And the lift up. Pedal this. And at the last line, second measure, every 2 beats. Now lift up. And you can pedal this, but I recommend lifting the pedal with the right hand after you finish the half note, so we get some silence in between the phrase. And then if you want to put it down with the G, that's fine, or leave it up for the measure. It's up to you. But then at the top of page 164. So on this, I recommend you pedal it with the right hand here, leave it down, and then change it. See, I can pedal with the quarter notes here. Now on the second line, go ahead and pedal the whole measure here. On the second measure, change it on the second beat. So we clear it out. We don't want to keep all this. And on the third measure, I don't pedal the F. And in the last measure, lift it up with the right hand. And then 165 is the same we've had. Beginning of 165, since I'm only pedaling the half notes, when it does this, I'm going to go ahead and pedal that right there, because I half note in the right hand. last line, you're back to pedaling every 2 beats just about. And first measure at the bottom, lift up in the right hand, so there's a new phrase. Before you repeat back. And that's pretty much the pedal. How fast you go is up to you. Learn it first and then you start feeling it, and that goes for the dynamics too. I like to do a short play with me. I'm going to do page 163, stop, turn the page, and then I'm going to do the rest of it, and I am going to do the repeat on page 165, so we'll play pages 164 and 165 twice. Won't that be fun? But I'm going to go real slow. This is to check the notes and the rhythms, and I'll try and pedal it like I'm suggesting so you get an idea. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, Turn the page. 1, 2, ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, off.